Hey guys, Nicole here with Obscure Reptiles and Caging, and today we're doing a reptile room tour. So let's get started. Hey guys, so today we're not only going to do a reptile room tour, I'm going to show you a couple of the other animals I have. We actually also have, here's some footage. This is Carl. He is a Sphinx. He's a hairless cat that we have. We've also got this German Shepherd. Her name is Kenya. And we also have this black cat named Kai. So we're going to go around this entire reptile room and I'm going to show you basically everything we have. So we're going to start off. Right here is some of the supplies that we have. Extra light bulbs, temperature guns, pretty much everything that's extra. That way we have everything we need. And something I wanted to mention to you guys is never throw away, like if you get an animal shipped, never throw away these boxes. The reason why is if, let's say the power goes out, right now it's winter, it's really cold where we are, you can get these. These are reptile heaters. It's made for when you ship a reptile. It can keep them warm when the temperatures are too cold for them normally. So what you do is you pack them up like you're going to ship them out. Use this properly, the way it's meant to be used, and you can actually keep your animal warm. But this could save your animal's life if, for example, your power goes out and you have absolutely no heat and your house is cold. Back here we've got some of our dragon. Down here's Homegirl. We've got Little Red, and actually you can notice her mouth is open a little bit, which is actually perfect. You want your bearded dragon to have his mouth open when underneath the heat. That means it's at the perfect temperature, and that's something that's really good. So you want to make sure. We've also got Blanche down in the bottom. We like to make sure they have enough water to actually soak in. Normally for dragons, people always have smaller water dishes, but we like to do this. That way they can actually get out or get a drink when they need to. We have our baby Ackies. These are our holdbacks. I'll try to get one out for you guys, but they're pretty quick. One sticking out back there too. There's a couple in here. As you guys know, I really hate using glass, but because these guys are so small, they can really get out of just about anything. Even this, I had to put the bricks on top because they were able to push their way out. But these are some of our holdbacks. They're very quick. But these are some of the holdbacks. I won't mess with them too much because, again, we had to turn these guys' lights all on because normally the lights are off at this time. Something that you guys might not think about. For example, in summer we have central air, but being up here and having so many heat lamps and heat fixtures, we actually had to get a window air conditioner just to help offset the heat that this stuff puts off. So the best way we've come up with being able to solve that is we changed when all their lights turn on and turn off. So for example, the dragon's lights will turn on for 12 hours a day, and then we'll have them turn off right around when the Ackies cages turn on. That way not so much heat is being put off, and all we did was change the day versus night cycle for the animals. So we just adjusted their time, so this way there's always something that's on. So we actually don't really have to use a heater. We have one as a backup, but it keeps the room nice and warm and cool throughout the day and night. Behind you, they're not being used yet, but these are going to be for our Dumerals boas. We're getting in a bunch of foliage, vines, and stuff like that to cover. These guys like to go down and burrow a lot, so we're going to fill this up with Reptichip. And we're also using radiant heat panels. I've never really used them, but a lot of people swear by them. They actually work with a probe. So down there we actually have a probe. We're going to be putting a basking shelf up a little bit higher than that probe and putting it on there so that way they can have a warm spot and everything else can stay a little bit on the cooler side. But that will be for our Dumerals boas when they get older. Over here we have our incubator. This is turned off right now. We do have some red Ackie eggs in the incubator right now, but we have them in the smaller one. So this is the inside of our incubator. For you guys who've never used them before, it's got heat tape in the back, has a probe. We put it right in the middle towards the front so it keeps everything at the same temperature. And not only do we have a reptile incubator fan at the bottom, we've got a computer fan at the top because this is just so large. And each of these bins are full of vermiculite. This is a substrate we like to use. It's all dry right now, but you mix it with water. We have a couple of videos showing you guys how to do this, but this way it keeps the eggs from any species that you have. It helps keep them at 100% humidity level that they need. And another quick tip for you guys, if you're having problems with your Reptile Incubator. The temperatures sometimes will fluctuate depending on if you have a cheaper thermostat or how old the heat tape is, or even if you have or don't have a fan. We've got water bottles in there, and some of these bins are just full of water. Water helps regulate and keeps the temperature more stable. So that way you won't have temperature spikes or them falling. It'll keep your incubator at one solid temperature, which is a lot better for your eggs. Here we have some setups. These are going to be for our baby dragons. We don't have any right now, but we used the bottom ones. They were the first ones I made. This way we could have enough space for all the baby dragons and separate them. We don't have to use glass tanks, and they can each have their own heat, own UVB. These are just some where we keep our super worms. We don't breed them, but this is just where we keep them. Up here we have, this is a female Ackie. She actually just sold, so we're holding on to her for temperatures to get warmer. Those younger red Ackies you just saw, we're going to be putting them in here because by the time she's leaving, they'll be big enough. And how I was mentioning how small those guys are, they can squeeze through this tiny gap right here and they could actually get out. They could get through something like this, but they'll be big enough by the time she's ready to leave. Down here, this is going to actually be for our bug-eyed boa. Since she's blind, I didn't want to put sticks or anything in it. We're going to be putting, again, some of those vines. I'll try to put a photo in right now of once we get the vines in and what these cages are going to look like, because they should be here in the next few days. But we don't want her to poke herself on anything or get hurt. And she's got a more shallow water dish just because she can't see. But she's almost big enough to go in here, so we should be able to get her in here soon. And then over here we have some of our Ackie monitors. The top is our really dirty trio. They love to get dirty. I got some super worms to see if I can get them to eat for you guys. They run through their water dish and then they fling everything everywhere. They're the dirtiest, but they're actually the parents of the babies you just saw. They make really, really nice babies. They did just eat mealworms, so they might not want it. The bottom one is, again, once those babies you saw that are in the smaller tank go to the bigger cage. This will be end up being their adult cage once they're old enough. Over here, we've got 2 and 2. These are some reds. That's why he's got such a big neck. But that's one of our, both of our red lines are rare earth lines. We've got Demi actually out. Dart's in the tube in the side, but that's our big yellow boy. Yellows actually do get a good amount larger than reds, but they're known to have better personalities, but honestly, I think they're really the same. So another thing about having a reptile room, especially one that's like upstairs, even with the air conditioner going, and right now being winter, the cages are perfect. We've got around an 80 degree on the cool side, and our hot spots, we get all the way up to 160, 140 to 160 depending on the time of day for our rocks, for our hot spots. So when it ends up being warmer up here, we actually have 2 hot spots. The way we fix that is we went and got, instead of being a reptile thermostat that kicks on when it's too cold, we actually hooked this up to fans, and it kicks on when it's now too hot. So that way we actually rigged up some of the incubator fans you guys saw. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but I drilled holes on the top, put those on, and I put that to basically a reverse of a heat thermostat, and it'll blow the heat right out of the cage. They're uninstalled right now just because we don't need them. It's perfect temperature in there for winter, but as soon as summer comes and it gets so much warmer up here, it ends up pushing the heat out for them. Here we've got the ball pythons. Everyone right now is breeding, so I'm not going to mess with everyone too much. There's our albino pieds. I was hoping we could show some unlocking for you guys. Pastel pinstripe Enchi boy. We were really hoping he was going to figure it out, but he still hasn't. We put some shed from another male in there with him. That's a good way to trick him into breeding, but he might just be too young. It's also his first season, so he just really hasn't figured it out yet. Right here is our hatchling rack. It's all empty right now. We don't have any babies. This is our backup or smaller incubator we run when we don't have too much going on. These are the red Ackie eggs. They're going to be the siblings to the red Ackie babies you just saw. It's from the same pairing, same mom and dad. These guys are going to be hatching around February 8th, but they have a wide range. They can hatch at day 90 or day 120, but again, you can see how we have some water in there. It just helps stabilize the temperature in the incubator. They actually are all super feisty. The banana pied is really the only one who doesn't try to bite me every single time. But was definitely the darkest one, so we ended up keeping her. Right here is our banana, GHI Mojave. Possible fire. As you can see, he's a lot lighter than he was in past photos and past videos. We're pretty positive he's fire as well. This is the only one I can bring out without trying to get bit. But this is that banana pied baby. I'll put a picture in right now for you guys to see. But she's already starting to get the dots. They're not mites. I've already had people message. When bananas grow and age, they end up developing spots. Some develop a lot, some develop a few. But you can see it's actually just her scale. Like, that's an entire scale. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching our room tour. Hopefully we produce some really cool stuff, like more banana pied females for you guys. Hopefully some dragons, and definitely some more Ackie monitors. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We do videos every Wednesday, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Dun, dun, dun.